It's been a while since I've come live. I have just been so upset. George was my first dog. So going through this has been really, really hard on me. And what's even worse, I've just been really spending time with my family. I went to New York, and honestly, it was the first time I went to New York where I didn't live stream at all. I've had my friends, gone through, I lost my bird, which was really hard, but having him for so long has made it so hard for me to kind of go on with daily things that I would have done. I want to thank everyone who contributed to my GoFundMe, because this has been the hardest process. I took my dog to an emergency hospital. It cost over it was like $15,000. And they double dosed him, actually more than double dosed him. They had written his medication and his chart down twice, and he was dosed with a bronchial dilator that interacted with his heart medicine, that really, hurt him. I've talked to medical specialists. It's just been one of the hardest experiences, and I was like, okay, let me come live, because I haven't been working. I haven't been live streaming. I have, let me show you all of the brand deals I have to shoot. These are all brand deals in this box. It's crazy, and I just can't bring myself to shoot any of them. I don't want to put makeup on. I cry every day. It is just really traumatic. Had I brought George to the hospital and he died naturally, I don't think I would be as upset. It was the fact that I had found out they had overdosed him. And what's really messed up is, I'm the dog owner that I sat in the parking lot for a week in my car. I slept in my car. I had called them 20 minutes after they noticed it on his chart, because I looked at I've just honestly every day been going through documents, his 112-page chart of every single little thing that happened within the 5 to 6 days he was there. And I am just totally livid. And then after, I look up the doctors who were in charge of him and in charge of, what happened. And I find out that the doctor had 3 other similar complaints from the California State Medical Board. And I'm just mad at myself, because I looked up the doctor before I went there, but he had 4 to 5 stars. Nowhere, I'm just how stupid am I? Nowhere did I know to look up a medical board to see if he's, been disciplined in the past. And I'm just lost. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to decide, if I should sue. I've already talked to medical specialists. They want an extreme amount. So I'm trying to do that. So if anyone's a lawyer or anyone understands this, please let me know. And then I've talked to other lawyers who are just like, Lauren, in California and in New York, and in most places, dogs are considered personal property. So that means if you take them to a hospital that charges, tens of thousands of dollars to treat them, if anything goes wrong, all they're really responsible for is the cost of a pet, a cost to adopt a new dog. Meanwhile, I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, on life-saving treatments to keep George alive throughout the years. And he's always been healthy, and he was sick, and I took him to the emergency vet, and I'm just really sad. I'm just mad that I took him to that specific facility, and I'm trying to decide what to do right now, because honestly, going back through the records I have been, just, seeing that when they called poison control, they underreported how much medication he had in his system. On his actual chart, it says secondary side effects from theophylline twice, but they didn't do any of the recommendations. They after poison control told them to stop dosing him, they dosed him again because they never took it off of his chart. Like, it's just, and this was at a very big conglomerate type of veterinary facility. So I am just, if this happened to me and I saw how they handled it, how many other people has this happened to? Is my question, is how many other animals, you know, and a lot of owners, it's like, we want to trust the doctors. They went through, you know, 10 to 12 years of school to become doctors, but they're allowed to just get away with hurting our animals. I just don't, it's very expensive for me to hire a lawyer and to go to court. And I'm trying to decide what I should do, because it is super expensive and I am not really working right now. I've turned down so many acting jobs because I'm like, I can't be a character in love right now. I can't do it. I'm just so depressed. What are you guys saying? I don't understand what language you're speaking in, but okay. And then I thought, well, maybe I can like try to pass laws or try to go the government route and try to make it so that this doesn't happen at veterinary facilities. It's just, I am so upset. So upset. So I want to apologize that I haven't been live or posting very much. It's just that I have just figured all of this stuff out, because when he first passed away, I looked over his chart, but I didn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So this past month, I've just been reading every single little thing, taking notes, you know, because I do have a bio degree. I was pre-med. I was president of my honor society, you know, editor of my school newspaper in high school, president of the Women's Association. So I do have a very, you know, my mom comes from a family of doctors, and I do know a lot about what doctors go through, you know. So there's a certain part of me that, you know, feels bad, but another part of me is just like, they killed my dog, you know. I mean, they're trying to say that he was very sick beforehand, but I don't know. I just, from the medical specialists that I talked to, they're saying otherwise. So I am just so upset, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, whether I should try and file a lawsuit right now where I have to pay my house back. You know, it's like I have responsibilities. I have a mortgage. I have to fix my car. My car is a mess. Like, I have to buy groceries, which are all expensive. But do I like take a loan out just to get, and honestly, the sad part is that if I were to sue them, like, as, you know, a pet owner, you really don't have any right to get any of the money back. I mean, the vet hospital actually offered me a little bit of the money back off my bill, but I'm like, no. Like, yeah, I'm so upset. And I ask what happened with the, Mike said yes, file. It's expensive to file a lawsuit. Does anyone know how to do it? Like, I was talking to one of my friends, and she's a girl I grew up with, and she's dealing with a similar situation in New York. It was a different situation. Her dog had gone through surgery, and they cut the wrong organ. She was telling me, you know, that it's just been very hard, and she's spent over $50,000 on legal fees so far, and it's been 4 years of her life, and I'm, you know, and she has like 4 kids or something, and and I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, I can't even do this by myself. So I don't know. It's just a lot. The WOW tryouts, I never heard back from them. I could always follow up. They were really cool, but honestly, I don't, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't feel like doing anything right now. Thank you for the stars. I don't feel like wrestling. I don't feel like, I just want to go back to New York and be with my family. But I have to take care of my house, and I actually have stray cat. Well, the reason I'm in the garage was because while I was in the house, Carlos went to use the laundry machine and flooded the whole garage. So I threw out a bunch of stuff, and I've just been going through everything, trying to organize like stuff I don't want anymore, stuff I should sell, because I get all these expensive products from brands. So, and I don't feel like some of them I give away. Like I give a lot of this stuff away to my friends. But yeah, I think I'm going to make a smoothie later, Mike. I think that's something I'm going to do. I've just been crying every day. It's been really, really hard. And I don't know. The system protects. Yeah. And that's the problem, Michael, is that there's no protection for our pets. And the fact that the doctor that, you know, is, I don't want to say too much in case I do, you know, but basically somebody on George's team had 3 prior disciplinary actions with the California State Medical Board. And the fact that like I couldn't, when I looked this person up, all I saw was 4 to 5 star reviews. So I wouldn't even have thought that this person had any disciplinary actions against him, which is, it's so frustrating. And then there's the thing of like, well, if I did take a settlement, then I wouldn't be able to bring justice or help other people, you know, because I mean, this happened with him 3 other times. So it's going to, you know, it's like he obviously is not learning. And I am just so upset. I'm upset that like the correct dosage of medicine was never noted on his chart, the correct toxicity. I'm upset that they didn't test his blood for the medication, for the toxic level of the medication. I'm upset because when I asked specifically for treatment for what he was going through, one of the doctors told me that his arrhythmias weren't serious enough, which I have pictures of them because I took pictures of the monitor. And then he said, and then I asked him, I said, look, he was just overdosed. Like, shouldn't you guys be giving him this medication? And he was like, oh no, the medicine's out of his system. And they were like being annoyed by me because I was there. I was trying to advocate for my dog, and I could tell that they were being annoyed by me so much that like they didn't let me sit with him the day before he passed. And it was just really hard. It was really, really hard. I had specifically noted to the doctor that was in charge of him, I said, look, he gets very anxious. Please do not, you know, clean his pad, make sure I'm there so I can just make sure he's less stressed when it happens. And then the morning he passed, that's what happened. I was sitting in the waiting room. I woke up at 7:30 from my car that I had slept in for 5 days. And I was waiting there to see him. And they're like, oh no, he just had an episode because we were doing a butt cleaning. And I just was, I told them so many times, and it's just super frustrating. I'm just really, really upset, about what happened. And I don't know, like there's this, person named Scott. He runs like this, I think it's called like Joey's, it's his dog was named Joey, and he gave me a lot of really great advice. And he actually stood outside the vet clinic that his dog passed away at with signs saying, this vet clinic killed my dog. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I'd be worried to get arrested. But it's just insane. When the doctor told me that they had to call poison control, I was livid. I was so upset. I was like, are you kidding me? Like my dog, like, cause he finally was getting better the day before. I have videos of him walking around, eating. He finally got steroid injections cause he had a cough, and he was seeming to be a lot better. And then I find out that they overdosed him. So like all the money that I spent trying to get him better, trying to get him to be strong, like for what? So that because of a charting error. because whoever put his medication in his chart listed it twice, and you know, the 6 vet techs that administered the medication didn't look through his chart. I don't know, didn't see it. The doctors that are supposed to, it's crazy. I realize when you go to bring your pet to an emergency room, you're actually not getting emergency room doctors looking after your pet. You're getting vet techs. And you know, it only takes 38 weeks to become a vet tech. I could go right now and become a vet tech, which, I mean, I think I'd be a very good vet tech, just because I've been taking care of George for so long, and senior dogs, like, you know, I've taken care of dogs with diabetes, but it's just, you know, I don't know if there's too many patients at the hospital. I don't know the reason for it. I just don't know the truth. And yeah, that's true. You know, it's just that, like, you know, you would think if somebody was there, you know, if he had his nurses there, like, they would look at the chart. And then after poison control was called, there was a nurse there, and she just gave him the medication. And the doctor assured me, she told me, she's like, oh, don't worry, it's not going to happen again. We're very sorry. It's unfortunate, blah, blah, blah. And she, like, reassured me. She's like, it's going to be out of his system. Like, honestly, like, what I should have done in that moment, and this is the first time I'm talking about this, just because it's been so hard for me. Like, George was, like, a part of me, you know? It's like, he had, like, a piece of my soul that just, like, died with him, you know? It's just, like, it's just the hardest thing. Like, my friends who've, like, experienced pet loss, and, like, I tried to be there for them. Now I feel, like, guilty. I'm like, oh, wow, this is way worse than I thought it was. But yeah, so after they overdosed him, I'm sitting in the back room with him, and a nurse comes up, and she gives him medication. And I ask her, I'm like, oh, what did you just give him? Just because, you know, now I'm on alert about the medication. She gave him the same medication that they had just called poison control for. And they had actually called poison control twice in the morning because they underreported the dosages of it. And then another weird thing, from his chart, this is just from looking at his chart, they waited an hour and 20 minutes to call poison control. Which I'm like, if you dose somebody with a toxic drug that says it has a very small, like, overdose window, so it's like, I forget how they call it in medical terms, but it's like, you know, if you do it just a little bit over, it goes into the toxic range. So George, at that time, when they noticed it, already had 5 doses in 24 hours of a medication that he was only supposed to have 2 doses of. So he had about almost double the amount of medication. Mind you, there's a previous case where a hospital administered, I guess, 10 times the amount of the medication at once, and that dog passed away right away. So it's there's previous, I guess, cases with this medication of people messing up the medication, which is scary. It's really scary, because I took him to a hospital that advertised and said they have this specialist, amazing care. Meanwhile, I got charged to see a specialist the first day I was there, and I never saw a specialist. The person who had come to me said she was on the emergency medicine team. So, you know, automatically I think, oh, she's an emergency medicine specialist. Nope. I realized it, you know, as I was sitting there and not getting, like no one was checking on George. I was just like, something's up. I saw that she was not an emergency medicine specialist. So when I asked the woman who dosed George again about the medication, it took the doctor about an hour and a half to 2 hours to come back with me. The whole time I was like texting my friends, asking people questions. So I basically was like documenting my feelings as it was coming. Honestly, if I could have, I would have been live streaming back there, but you know, I didn't want them to kick me out. I was really, worried that they were going to be like, you can't be back here. And I was, being around George, I know, like, with his anxiety, it helps him because he was just so stressed out that it was happening. So if anyone's ever in this situation like I am, call poison control right away. Like, get your own documents. Like, I wish I could say, like, trust the doctors, but you really can't. And when I was dealing with my mom, when my mom was in septic shock in last December, I had to be on top of the doctors, and I had to be looking at her chart. And I was there, and I was doing it, and I was like making sure nothing happened. And for some reason, I went to this emergency hospital, and I trusted them. I really trusted them because they're known to be one of the best. And after seeing his records and seeing his charts, like, the doctor had told me, when I talked to her, she's like, oh, don't worry, the drug is out of his system now, you don't have to worry. But then she wrote on his chart that he was getting secondary arrhythmias due to the medication. So I'm just mad that I didn't ask them. Like, I did try to see, I went to the front desk and I asked them to talk to like a hospital, like the hospital representative or somebody, because I was so livid. And the girls at the front desk were nasty. Like, they were just making it like so I wouldn't complain. And then at that point I was like, well, I shouldn't complain because then they're not going to let me sit with George. And then I was worried about how they would care for George. So I just trusted them. When I asked for my statements, I saw that I was being charged for the medication that overdosed him. I had given George George's medication, and they left it outside of his cage for like 2 days, yet they were using it to overdose him with. So I don't know if I could ever have a pet again now, because I don't think I can trust. I don't this happened at such a big place. Oh, it's just hard, guys. Anyway, I'm sorry for my rant. I just felt like I needed to come live. I needed to explain to you where I've been, because I'm just, when you don't do social media or go live every day, your audience goes away. Like, I've experienced this before. I've experienced loss before where I didn't want to post, my grandmother passed away. I just, that was like one of the hardest moments of my life. And George, like, I couldn't have done that without George by my side. George really, like, they say that, like, we take care of dogs. Like, George took care of me. Like, he brought me through like almost 2 decades of my life of like, relationships and learning and growing. And he really changed my life. And I just hope that I can bring him justice. I can afford to bring him justice. That's why I linked my GoFundMe, for anyone who wants to support my cause. And honestly, like, I don't care. Like, I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to other dogs. I'm so upset. That's so sad. The Veers are it's really sad, especially when they're charging so much. Like, that first night I brought him there was about $5,000, like, just for that night. It was crazy. And then by the time he was overdosed, we couldn't lower the oxygen, which I don't know. The veterinary specialist I talked to mentioned something about how the medication affects like the fluid in his lungs or something. So I couldn't get him out of oxygen. I know Mike, thank you, Mike, so much, helped me write the GoFundMe, because I was in no place to even think of anything. I was just thinking, can I find an ambulance to bring him to another facility? Like, I was just like, how do I get him out of here safely? And ultimately it was just too late. And I wish out of the whole thing that I had contacted Poison Control and not, trusted them, and got my own kind of report from Poison Control and looked at it more, talked to the toxicologist I talked to after he passed, but these are all things that if he had, there was an emergency medicine doctor looking over his case, that emergency medicine doctor should have looked at his chart and saw. They should have called back Poison Control. They should have noted the doses on his chart. I'm so upset, and I don't know what to do. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know in the comments. My other friend, one of my mentors, she, her mom passed away, and she told me that it was very hard, that there were a lot of things that the doctors did wrong. But it's like, when we're grieving and we're going through all that, it's like, do we want our lives to become like, you know, a court litigation battle for the next 2 to 7 years? Because I looked at a lot of dog cases, and that's generally what it is. And it's just hard. It's like, you know, like going through it every day makes it so like impossible. Like, I got all these auditions to do, and I just like, I'm like, I can't think of auditioning right now. Like, I gotta talk to, I just talk to lawyers every day. It's just awful. Awful. Anyway, guys, anyone have suggestions, let me know. I'm getting bit up in my garage that I was supposed to come on here and clean and talk to you guys and do with, but I haven't done anything. That's why it's still a mess. Oh, my backyard is even worse. All my bikinis, they were in a box, got soaked. So I just have them like laid out everywhere. Like, great. Okay, Linda, thank you, I guess. Oh, maybe this is the box of other bikinis. I have to match the bikinis. That's a whole other thing. And then I have like brand deals that need to be done. So I'm just like, yeah, let's go in the backyard. Let me show you the backyard. Backyard's also a mess because I took like everything like that was on the ground out. Whew. When the sun is like so bright like this, it's super hard. So my backyard. There are these stray cats that live back here. Yeah. Don't mind the excess flooring in this corner. We'll go by the pool. On a positive note, my garden is looking good. Although my gardener came and he mowed the lawn and cut all of my tomato plants I had just planted. I grew a bunch of tomato plants from these like really fancy tomatoes I got at Trader Joe's. Like, and I was so excited because they were like flowering and they're about to have tomatoes. And the gardener just like mowed the whole area. Like, what? Like, why would he? Probably thought they were weeds. Because I never planted vegetables there before. It was just the only spot. Because I have so many plants in this garden. The house came with a lot of the lemon trees. And I don't know, this one, after I cut the trees, is finally growing fruits. And I've just been burying like some of George's toys everywhere in the backyard. You know, maybe I'll do like a big ceremony for him. We should do a big ceremony for him. It's just really hard. It's really, really hard. But I got a lot of plants. I got two, I had planted squash like 3 months ago. And the vines are finally growing and there's some flowers. So that's cool. Remember the pumpkin I grew? I grew one big pumpkin from my front yard. So that's cool. I don't know if I ever posted videos from it. Like, I should go into the pool, but as you see, like, we put 2 gallons of chlorine in this week, but I don't know what's going on. Like, it looks like DE covered in algae on the ground. So, I need a pool person. Definitely need a pool person. It's just like, I can't even think to do anything. I have no motivation whatsoever. My psychiatrist told me to get another dog. He was like, it helps, just get another dog. You'll feel a lot better. But I feel guilty, you know. I've talked to and followed, like, all I do is watch pet grief videos now. Like, that is my life. Just, like, pet grief. It is really hard. Anyone has a pet, like so many people were warning me. They're like, when George was like 15, when George was 14, they're like, he's gonna pass away, it's gonna really hurt. And I was just, I didn't want to listen because I was like, why are you saying that to me, you know? Yeah, it's so horrible. It's just the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. It's really bad. Because, you know, it was like a part of me. It was like my whole day revolved around him. I'd wake up, you know, in the middle of the night to feed him, to walk him. Yeah, it's really hard. And then not to have a dog in the house is so hard. It's so hard. You disagree with my psychiatrist? Well, yeah. So, oh yeah, that was, I mean, like, you know what, too, to have George during the pandemic was like just amazing, because I got to spend so much time with him and my mom and my dad. It was really like, you know, it was good that we got to spend time. It was hard. It was a scary time, and a lot of people got sick, and that was horrible. But thank God I had George. You know, if you had a pet during the pandemic, so we couldn't see people, you know, so it really just makes that bond with our pets so much stronger, because it was like they were our only outlet. Like, I had to go outside to walk George, otherwise I was too scared to leave the house. I remember, yeah, at one point I don't think I was even walking him outside. I was trying to get him to go on the pee pad. I was like, and he did not want to go on the pee pad. So it was really hard. But a lot of my friends have been really here for me during this. It's just, yeah, just the worst. Just the worst. Oh wow, 31st, and I'm sure my friend Steve Zarita, who took a lot of my photos, he's a huge Power Ranger fan, so he's probably celebrating. That's cool. That's true, Mike. That is so true. That is so true. I've just been trying to fix my car too during all of this. So just, it's like when it rains, it pours. And I don't know if it's because like I had it running in the parking lot all night, you know, and I broke it. I know he was, Steve. I know. I did preserve his cells for cloning. That's expensive too. I mean, the initial cost isn't bad, but if I do want to clone him, it's about $50,000. So it's like, okay, do I take a loan and pay for a lawyer, or do I just accept the fact that, you know, the dog, the laws really don't help you if you did, you know, have a dog, or do I just put that money into cloning George? But then they say too, it's like, you know, you can have the same DNA, but it's not the same dog. But then I feel like, you know what, at least it's the same DNA. So I do feel like it's like a part of him. It's like having his child almost, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I am just so sad. And I don't know how to get through it. I don't know, like, how to start shooting my videos again, or my brand deals. Like, I feel so bad. I have all these companies writing me like, are you gonna shoot these products? And I'm like, I can't. Like, I just can't right now. Come to Chicago. Oh, that would be cool. That's very sweet of you. I just can't even think of, like, traveling is hard right now just because of the price of, like, gas. It's crazy. Like, to fly back and forth to New York was so expensive. It was so expensive. Like twice the price that it normally is right now. And oh my goodness, like, flying back from New York was like a horror show. It was raining. But I don't know, the pilot made a comment saying that, like, I guess, like, the plane was delayed because one of the gas was leaking or something. So then they gave us a new plane. It was a brand new jet. It was huge. It was really cool. But still I had to, but then it was also raining in New York. So then we had to wait like 2 hours on the runway to go up. I think I watched a full movie. One of my friends that what's his name? Is it Patrick North maybe? Made a movie about, like, making a movie. And I watched that. I watched that on the plane. Like during, like as I was waiting to take off, I watched a full movie. It's like, oh God. I was like, well, I'm happy I asked them for the headphones. Because it was like a later flight. But yeah. Okay, guys. I don't know. Have you guys ever gone through this? How do you get over grief? That's my worst thing. It's always been really hard for me. I don't like change. I don't know if it's because I'm a Taurus. I hate change. And then like losing a loved one, that is like the worst. It was so hard. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you have any advice, any way to help me get through this. Just, yeah. I did learn a lot. Now, just, yep. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to go clean the garage, hopefully. Hopefully. It's like I've been up all day and I can't do anything. I just kind of like pace around and cry. Like that's generally what I do. I like go inside and out of the house and I just cry. And I look at my garden and all this stuff I have to do. Like there's so many weeds and I just like cry. And I just, yeah. Thank you, Mike. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.